My name is Marijke. I am the General Manager of Microsoft in Belgium and Luxembourg. I see around me inspiring people who are embracing technology and AI to create a better world. Each and every one in their very own way. Today, I talked to Elena Doms. She started Earth Plus because she saw with her own eyes how global warming changed her birth town and wants to contribute to a better world for our children to live in. Supported by the power of AI, she has the ambition to make our soils clean again. Marijke's Groos podcast series on AI with Elena Doms, take 1. Welcome everybody to the podcast series on technologies and AI, where I have conversations with people that I found very inspiring over the last couple of months. People that are using AI to become more productive, more creative, or to make the world a better place. And today we will meet Elena Doms. She's the founder and CEO of Earth Plus, and make the world a better place, that suits you well. Can you explain a little bit more, Elena? Who's Elena and why did you found Earth Plus?
Hi Marijke, thank you so much for having me here today and for your nice words. My name is Elena Doms. I was born and raised in the Arctic, so that's one of the big reasons why I'm really passionate about positive impact and sustainability. And I also am a mother of 2, so I want to have a better world for my kids and all the children in the world. And seeing the Arctic change, seeing what's happening there really inspired me to take action, because the Arctic is really at the forefront. It's warming up 4 times faster than the rest of the world. And when I saw that with my own eyes, when I had my kids and had my degree in energy and climate, I knew that I just had to do something that would be really impactful for our future.
Top. And what is Earth Plus about? What are you going to do?
So I like to say it's the next ocean cleanup, but for soils.
Mm-hmm.
Our passion is to create the largest soil and CO2 cleanup with nature. So we clean polluted or degraded lands with solutions like plants with superpowers or fungi. And we also use the clean plants biomass to create bio-based construction materials to turn construction from a huge carbon emitter into a huge carbon sink together with our partners.
Wow, and how is that going to work?
So,
and where are you in the process? Super exciting.
Maybe I'll tell you a little story of how it all started.
Yes, thank you.
And how I got inspired actually. In 2022, there was a first pilot that resulted from a big scandal in Belgium. You probably heard about it. It was around PFAS, or forever chemicals.
Yes.
I haven't met yet a Belgian who hasn't heard about it. They measured people's blood, people living around the factory of large international company. It was all over the news. And I met an entrepreneur. I was working back at MasterCard on sustainability in digital technology. And the name of the entrepreneur was Frederik Verstraete. He was one of the first people in the world who conducted a pilot to try to clean up forever chemicals from soils. He worked together with a postdoc, Sophie Tess, from the University of Hasselt. And they used industrial hemp as a plant because it was used to clean Fukushima and Chernobyl, and because it's fantastic for decarbonizing construction. They planted several varieties, they studied what happened, and they actually proved that hemp acted like a big pump. So it transported pollution from the soils through the roots of the plant into the leaves of the plant. Wow. The stems contain no traces, and the pollen was clean as well, so the bees were saved. That was really important. So what happened next? They separated the polluted plant parts. Those have to be treated at really high temperatures, above 1,400 degrees, because it's forever chemicals. Scientists fear they will be there forever, for millennia. And the stems they used to create circular construction materials. And why hemp is amazing for construction materials? Because it grows really fast, up to 4 meters in just 3.5 months.
Wow.
And in that amount of time, it stores up to 4 times more CO2 than a young forest in a year. It's also the strongest natural fiber, so you can make wood out of it, which will replace wood coming from cutting trees, so we can actually save a lot of trees. You can make biocomposites, which is, for example, plastic or steel substitute as well. And you can make it all locally. You can grow it locally, and you can make it locally, and you can even plant more than 1 crop a year. So it's amazing in terms of local circular economy, new materials that instead of emitting carbon are storing carbon in the buildings. And you can also make fully circular materials. So our main partner on the ground is Biotech. They design materials together with scientists in a way that they're fully circular, meaning at the end of life, you can take the material and use it, or you can chop it and make exactly the same material as before. So it's an amazing story of how you can create local circular hubs of actually growing your cities. And that's Biotech's slogan as well, we grow your cities.
Wow, fantastic. How is AI or technology helping to realize that ambition?
So Earth Plus is the technology piece of the puzzle, and technology serves several goals. Maybe in a broader sense, we want to use technology and AI to make nature sexy again. For example,
nature sexy again.
Yes.
Ah, great.
Yes. For example, in the carbon removal space, we see a bit of a shift in terms of going from nature-based solutions into engineering and carbon capture and storage, for the reason that you can't measure nature that simply, but with carbon and capture storage and engineering, you can exactly calculate everything, all the CO2 that you sequester. But according to WWF, in the last 10 years, nature removed 54% of our extra emissions. So we truly believe in nature. We believe that if you can bring the same transparency to nature, then you can really help restore our planet. So for the moment, we are looking at using technology and AI in different areas. First one is monitoring near real time what's happening on the ground. So there is no greenwashing. So we know, for example, with the help of satellite imagery, that crops are growing in every field, how fast they are growing, when the second crop is planted, and so on. Then we are looking into using Microsoft Ledger technology for the traceability as well. So we can know when we seed it, when we harvest it, how much, where it was transported, which materials were created, and in which buildings they were placed. Because long term is very, very important. And for that, we can use technology, know exactly what's happening. So that at the end of life, we can also repurpose these materials. We can use technology to calculate CO2 sequestration based on the biomass that is growing. And all of that will result into near real-time reporting for our partners, so they can plug and play it into their sustainability reports. But what we're also looking into is developing AI capabilities that will help us more. Imagine if we can screen the lands and soils, and we can determine degraded and polluted lands where it's best to bring impact on a large scale with the help of AI.
How far are we there?
We are working on that. So that's something that we still need to train and build based on the projects on the ground.
Okay.
Then imagine that we can also, with the help of AI, select the best combination of nature-based solutions for every specific soil combination and soil pollution, so that it can be cleaned faster. And imagine that we can use AI also to predict how many years it will take to clean and restore soils. Because what we really love is taking something that nobody wants, like a mildly polluted land or degraded land, and really restoring it in 10, 20, 30 years back, so you can use it for agricultural construction, for example. And with the help of AI, we can actually predict how many years it will take, what needs to be done, and also what will be the uptick in the land value. And then you can really, really have sustainable nature-based investments, because they are really regenerating our planet and are bringing benefits to everyone involved.
Top. I'm a tech optimist, but I think you're a nature optimist, huh?
I'm both. I think we can use technology to make nature more visible, to make to showcase how smart nature is. And yeah, definitely, I'm very much into nature since I was a little girl.
Nice, nice. I've got a daughter as well. She's 17 years old, and she wants to study biology, and it's exactly for the same reasons. So I think you're a great role model as well to those that are now at that age, looking into, okay, what is the aim in life, I would say, and what do I want to do from a work experience part. So what is next for you? How are you gonna explore further? Because this all seems to be like a magnificent story. I think everyone wants to listen in, because it's also it gives hope that we can recuperate from all the big challenges we face today. How do you see this evolve?
So first of all, when it comes to what we are doing, is we are going through a hyperscaling exercise right now of how can we quickly make impact with local partners all around the world. So we have a lot of projects, and we are starting seeding soon in Belgium together with the local partners. But we're also exploring how we can further grow in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in other continents. With the help of local partners, we can create local jobs and local circular economy. But for the future, I think that will be, a world that we are creating, a better world. I think in the sustainability and technology space, sometimes we go a little bit into a doom, especially with the climate change. Mm-hmm. On one hand, people are scared, but on the other hand, everyone is scared to kind of change the lifestyle that we have. So first of all, we need to paint a better picture of what actually the future society will be. Because maybe technology will help us work less, and we can spend more time with our families, and we will be surrounded more by nature, and we will have healthy soils again. We will have healthier food. Because looking now at the soil tests, I don't even know what to buy for my kids anymore. But in the future, that will be solved. Our buildings will be circular. We'll have better materials to breathe in, right, inside of this building. So the sustainable and high-tech future is actually a better future. So as soon as we start visualizing it and really seeing it, then it's just a matter of taking steps and getting there as soon as we can.
I love that visualization, and I also really love the idea of having that better world with more time to spend in nature as well. It all sounds so magnificent, and so, but what can the audience do? Is there anything we can bring in as well?
Well, first of all, when I made a change myself, it took me a long time to start doing something that I truly believed in. And Earth Plus is something that I've never believed more in my life, in anything else. But before that, I really felt like as an individual, I can't make a difference. Then I read a book by Dr. Christian Busch, which said that every societal change actually starts with individuals. So there are so many passionate people out there. That struck me in our partnership with Microsoft. We've met amazing Microsoft employees that loved our story, that are really passionate about sustainability and technology, and that are doing that on top of their jobs. And that's why I love working together with Microsoft, actually.
Good to hear.
And I think if people are passionate about doing something, it's a matter of taking that first step. It can be something really small. It can be doing something a little bit on top of your job. It can be volunteering outside of your job. It can be maybe also making a bigger leap and starting doing something different. But if you're passionate about change, don't wait like I did for over 10 years. We don't have time to wait anymore. Just do it and see the ways on how you can contribute. And I'm really sure that together, as a society and together as individuals, we can make a big change.
Wow, let's do that for sure. Let's do that for sure. Is there anything else you want to share with us, like from that amazing story? What brought you there?
Well, maybe I want to share about how the Arctic is changing, how that impacts the whole world. Mm-hmm. And also a little bit more about the soils and the problem of soil pollution, which is very invisible but important to know.
Yeah.
So let's start from the Arctic. I want to tell one story of how my home region is changing. So when I was a little girl, my parents dressed me up for kindergarten. I had these layers of clothes, and my dad would rub my nose and my cheek before we went outside, cover my face fully, and carry me all the way to the kindergarten in his arms, making jokes. And it was normal to have winters of -30, -35 degrees for a couple of months. When I really started noticing change is during the pandemic, because it was gradual change. Maybe we don't see it much year by year, but when you look 30 years back, you really see the difference. And during the pandemic, the temperatures really became different. I grew up in an apartment in a house right next to the river. This river split the city into two parts. It's about 2.5 kilometers wide, so it's a very big one. And every morning I would go to school, to kindergarten, was along the river, and I would come back along the river. So that's how I noticed season change. But there are also people living on the other side of the river in little villages, and there are no bridges in between. So in summer they can take a boat, and some people live on one side of the city and work on the other. And in winter, they literally walk on ice.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that they cross anywhere they want to. There is a special road that is being constructed by authorities when the ice is thick enough. They put the lights, and you can walk on there. You can even drive a car.
Wow.
In the middle of the river, ships still have to come through, so the ice is broken every day. And there you just have water, ice blocks, and wooden pallets to cross, like a small wooden bridge. We did that experience with my Belgian husband a while ago. He said it's one of the most dangerous things he's ever seen. I tend to disagree, but yeah, it's pretty terrifying. And some people do this every day. And normally, the river already freezes enough at the beginning of December, so this road of life, how we call it, is installed. I live right next to it, so I could see it, and I knew winter has come. But now the average temperatures are -7, -10 in winter, and even in December and January they can be above 0.
Wow.
That means that the ice doesn't freeze, and that it takes 1 or up to 2 months longer to put the road of life in place so that it's safe. And during the pandemic, people from the other side had difficulties getting fresh food and even going to the hospitals on the main city side, because you couldn't simply cross the road. And that story really, really struck me, because a lot of infrastructure in the Arctic is based on ice, and just in my home region there are 130 roads like this.
Wow.
And that's just one of the stories, right? So I'm pretty sure that everyone nowadays already sees the impact of climate change. They are different for every part of the world and every individual, but we just can't ignore it anymore. We have to do something about it. And another thing is that we have created a lot of wealth, but that wealth came at a cost. And that came at the cost of, for example, pollution like CO2, but also like soil pollution. And now we're also eating food that is unhealthy for us. For example, Belgium is top of the list in the EU in terms of contamination of fruits and vegetables with forever chemicals. 27% of our fruits and vegetables are contaminated. And these chemicals, they accumulate in our bodies and they cause diseases. ChemSec, an NGO from Sweden, calculated the global societal costs of forever chemicals are $17.5 trillion a year. That's just healthcare and cleanup, so it doesn't even include impact on nature and construction. And I want us to eat healthy again. I want to think that in 10, 20 years, we can restore our soils back. Maybe it will take longer, maybe 30, maybe 100 for some plots, but I want to see that progress. And that's why we are so passionate about what we do at Earth Plus, because we want to help restore our soils and eat healthy food again for our children, for our grandchildren.
Can it go that fast, 10, 20 years?
So if you're talking about nature-based solutions, it's not a magic pill. You cannot undo 60 years of forever chemical pollution in 1 year. That would be a magic pill. It's not. Depending on the contamination, if it's mildly contaminated areas, you can clean them maybe in 10, 20, 30 years. If it's more heavy contaminated, that would take 100 or maybe more years. But the thing is that majority of contamination is mild contamination.
Okay.
So there are thousands of hotspots in Europe. There was an investigation done by Forever Pollution Project and Le Monde. So the map and all the measurements are available. And you can see that easily on the map and see for your home place or where you live. But majority of the pollution is mildly contaminated areas. And for the moment, if you can clean the hotspots with traditional methods, which is mainly taking the ground and putting it somewhere else, what is the solution for the areas that you can't excavate? We can't excavate a third of our continent. And that is where I truly believe nature and combination of technology can really help.
Top.
Yeah.
Top.
And then if we talk about degraded lands, for example, now currently in Europe, 52% actually over 60% of our agricultural lands are degraded. 52 is globally. That means that we are eating food that is less nutritious. This percentage is also going to be 90% by 2050 if we don't do anything. And that's hundreds of millions of hectares which currently feed us. So it's really important that we also restore these soils. And I'll give you an example of potatoes, because in Belgium we love French fries or stoomp,
Yes,
which is a wonderful invention with vegetables. But farmers can grow potatoes only every 4 or 5 years, because potatoes suck a lot of nutrients from soil. So in the meantime, they have to grow other crops. And actually, we can collaborate together with farmers where they can grow industrial hemp on their soils for us in between these main crops. They will get the revenue and the benefits, so they have better income for them. We will have better construction materials for our cities. We will sequester a lot of CO2, but we will also help them clean up and restore their soils so they can bring the yields of potatoes by 5 to 15% up, thanks to the power of plants, because they can really help restore the soils. And I think that's a beautiful story of collaboration, and that's why I love working in sustainability and technology, because it's all about radical collaboration and how you can bring together different actors like farmers, construction, industry, tech, and actually benefit everyone.
Yes, absolutely. I love that radical collaboration, and there is only a plus for everyone, so there is no minus in there. So let's do this. Thank you so much, Elena, for this conversation. It's giving me a lot of hope, and it's really so good to see that Microsoft is helping you to realize these type of changes and having that impact on society. I hope the audience also liked this conversation, and I'm looking forward to see you again in the next edition of this podcast series. Thank you.